In the master bedroom, Mr. Tuttle is laying face down on the bed.
The family found him like this?
Yes, sir.
Upon initial examination of the scene, detectives noted that, in fact, the victim still had a .22 caliber in his hands.
And there was a single entry gunshot wound to the back of the head, and there is no exit.
What an odd way to shoot yourself.
Most gun suicides, the person is sitting erect and the gun is fired into the temple. It's extremely uncommon to see someone lie on their stomachs and shoot themselves in the back of the head. There's a shoe print on the door next to the door handle assembly.
Witnesses claim that they broke the door in after they heard the gunshot.
They then speak to the wife of the victim, whose name is Jackie Tuttle. She's 42 years of age. She says the evening progressed in a normal manner, except for the fact that Charlie was drinking heavily during dinner. Jackie reports to the officers that her husband seemed to be very distressed after dinner and continued to drink and said he was going to bed.
So around midnight, Sarah and I went down and put a movie in downstairs. That's when we heard the gunshot.
And that's when she became so distressed and she could not continue conversing with the officers because of her emotional state.
Hoping to learn why Charlie was distressed, investigators turned to Jackie's daughter, 19-year-old Sarah Reynolds.
They ask her to describe the events of the evening, separate from her mother, and she tells precisely the same story.
So after dinner, Charlie went to bed, and Mom and I watched a movie in the living room.
Please be with me. Be with me, please.
And it was about 1:30 when she heard a loud bang.
What was that?
Charlie!
We went upstairs, but his door was locked. We tried to force the door to open, but it wouldn't budge.
And her mother said, "Go get the neighbor, he can help us." And she did that.
The neighbor came over and kicked the door in, and that's when we found him on the bed.
I know this is difficult, Sarah, but can you think of any reason that Charlie may have wanted to end his life?
Yeah. He was just so different since the accident.
About a year earlier, he'd been in a very serious car accident.
Come here, honey. Come here, let me help you. Please, here, let's get this out of the way.
He was struck from behind by another car. It injured Charlie's neck and caused him pain in his neck and upper back.
His personality changed after that. He was so down about everything, constantly called out of work.
He became more depressed. He drank more. Now, all of that put together certainly sounds like someone who may be willing to end their days. By law, the coroner determines the method of death and the manner.
Okay, thank you.
The coroner's office is fully informed of the details about Charlie's recent history and his motor vehicle accident and his depression, and the coroner rules it as a suicide, and the matter is closed, or so everyone thought.
6 months later, an unexpected visitor shows up at CSPD.
My stepfather, Charlie Tuttle, he died 6 months ago in our house.
Okay.
And she looked at me and she said, "Well, I told a story to the policeman about how my stepdad killed himself."
But I was lying.
Hey, honey, can you grab me the parsley?
What's all this?
Something special for Charlie.
Jackie had actually picked up a bottle of Crown Royal whiskey, some cigars, and a fishing magazine.
Wow, Mom.
Right?
And Sarah thought that was kind of unusual because Jackie and Charlie had been arguing quite a bit lately.
And she suspected the marriage was coming to an end.
I thought it was her way of showing him she still loved him and wanted to make things work. And then when Charlie came home, he was in such a good mood.
Oh, wow. It's not my birthday.
No?
Oh, are you making your famous meatballs?
She said he was quite surprised and happy to see them fixing a nice meal for dinner.
And when we sat down to dinner, Mom and Charlie were reminiscing about old times.
This looks great.
Thank you.
Oh. Man, does the sauce taste funny to you?
No, I think it's fine.
I think the horseradish went bad. Eesh.
He didn't care for the shrimp cocktail, but he certainly ate everything else and drank his beer as he normally did.
And then Mom wanted to watch a movie, but Charlie said he's going to bed to read his fishing mag.
Do you remember what time that was?
No, I just remember the movie started and I must have totally passed out.
And that struck me. I passed out? Why did you pass out? Were you drinking?
No, I just remember feeling so tired all of a sudden. I couldn't keep my eyes open. And then I woke up around 1:30.
The house was quiet. The movie was on pause.
Her mother, Jackie, wasn't there, and so she's sitting there on the couch. And she heard this loud boom from upstairs.
Mom?
Her mother is holding a green bath towel, and protruding from the bath towel is a gun.
My mom threatened to kill me if I said anything.
But she told him that I'm coming in to tell the truth because I have so much guilt.
I can't sleep. I have nightmares about it.
Do you have any idea why your mother wanted to kill Charlie?
Yeah, she's greedy.
She said he had a $49,000 insurance policy, and she wanted that money.
And she got it too.
So my first step is to go to the coroner's office. I inform the coroner of the new development, and the coroner agrees to review the report.
The witnesses claimed that Mr. Tuttle had been drinking heavily, but that's not what we're seeing in his toxicology results.
The blood alcohol content of Charlie was 0.01. That is not even legally impaired, let alone drunk.
So Joe took an unusual step, and that was to contact the funeral director who embalmed the body of Charlie.
I said, well, in my experience, I've seen over 100 gunshot wounds to the head from people who kill themselves.
There was something that just wasn't quite right about this one. I actually remember it quite well. Let's see what we got here. What was the cause of death?
Suicide. Gunshot to the back of the head.
Really? And when I looked at the hole on the inside of the skull, it was much larger, but still symmetrical. Most of the time, you don't get a perfect 90-degree angle.
He said, at that point in time, I was suspicious that this was, in fact, not a suicide, but he went on with the embalming anyway.
And with that, we decided to reopen the case.
Kenda and his team start by tracking down Charlie Tuttle's widow at her new home.
We tell her, your daughter came to report that you killed your husband and swore her to secrecy.
She's lying. It's an absolute lie.
Now, Mrs. Tuttle, why would your daughter make up a story like that?
It's obvious. She wants more money.
And we looked at her and we said, excuse me, what do you mean by more money? She said, there was a life insurance policy that was worth $49,000. I received the $49,000. I felt guilty about having all that money. And Sarah, who was a starving beauty college student, had no money.
I gave her 10 grand to finish school. I wanted to help her. I wanted her to get on her own 2 feet for once.
Sarah was the kind of kid where she'd never really had to go out and earn a living.
You know, I guess my daughter's a bit of a sponge.
So what's all this have to do with Sarah saying you killed your husband?
Like I said, she wanted more of Charlie's insurance money.
Jackie tells Joe that she burns through that $10,000 just in a few months.
So you're friends with Jackie Tuttle?
Yeah, I know Jackie. I've known her since 11th grade, back when we lived in Texas. Almost 25 years.
So we have not just a friend, but a really good friend who should have some insight into these people.
And I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but
She said, well, I knew that Charlie was having an affair.
An affair?
yeah, he had a girlfriend. Jackie was devastated.
We've got to find somebody else now that may know about that. And we determined that Charlie had a best friend, and we want to know what that friend knows about the affair.
Excuse me, Hugh Hines?
Yes, sir.
I'm Sergeant Kenda. We talked on the phone. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Charlie and I worked together for nearly 7 years at the power station. He was an excellent mentor to me. We were close enough where we shared very personal information, and so I know that Jackie and Charlie were having difficulties in their relationship.
We say, well, Hugh, we hear a story that maybe Charlie was having an affair with some woman named Betsy.
No way, man. He wasn't having an affair with Betsy.
Charlie and Betsy were friends. There was certainly no sexual relationship. Charlie never did anything except work and fish.
Charlie, as a matter of fact, had told Jackie that he was just fed up with her and he was going to move out and divorce her. And it's just because he wanted away from Jackie.
I want to talk to the first person who entered that home after the shooting.
Sarge, Eric, Fillmore's here to see you.
Come on, have a seat.
The neighbor who kicked down Charlie's door.
I've got some crime scene photos. Would you mind taking a look at them?
Yeah, sure. No, this is not what I saw.
That's not the way I found it. It was different in the photo than how I came upon the scene.
You're gonna like this.
He confirmed that Jackie did receive $49,000 from the insurance company, paid her daughter Sarah $10,000, and they have bank deposits into Sarah's account of 10 grand.
Okay, but Jackie already told us that.
Yeah, but you know what's strange is her other daughter, Jennifer, didn't get a penny.
And why would the mother give money to one daughter, not the other?
So we go to find her, and we find that she's living with her grandmother, Debbie.
Thank you.
Can I get you anything else?
No, thank you. So, Sarah, the one thing that's been bothering us is why would your mother give you money from the life insurance and not your sister?
And Sarah was dumbstruck that we knew that. She just looked at us. She had nothing to say. Nothing.
I think it was to keep Sarah's mouth shut.
Grammy.
What do you mean with that?
Debbie went on to say that the day before the shooting took place, she had gotten a phone call from Jackie.
Hello?
Hey, Mom. Are you busy?
No, I just got home from work. What's going on?
Debbie is a nurse, and her daughter, Jackie, wanted to know if she combined a sleeping agent called Restoril with alcohol, would that make somebody really sleepy? Would it make them fall very, very soundly asleep?
Oh, yeah, but you really shouldn't mix those. Why are you asking?
I'm just curious. Actually, Mom, I'm sorry, I gotta go. There's someone at the door.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. It was a very, very odd phone call.
Kenda wonders, did Jackie mix Restoril into the cocktail sauce in order to put her victim and a potential eyewitness into a deep sleep?
Does Jackie have access to that drug?
Charlie's doctor prescribed it for him after his car accident to help him fall asleep easier.
What are you guys doing here?
Jackie, I have a warrant for your arrest for the murder of Charles Tuttle.
You can't be serious.
Cuff her.
Come with me.
Sarah is lying. She just wants the money.
And I looked at her and I said, well, Jackie, you have a problem.
Well, she wasn't the only one telling us that.
But I didn't do it.
It's not what the evidence says.
So we're going to take you in front of a jury of your peers and let them decide about your future. Come with us.
And Jackie got real silent and looked at Joe and said, I want a lawyer. She was then taken into custody, taken into county jail and booked.
Jackie Tuttle is charged with first-degree murder. Her daughter, Sarah Reynolds, is not charged with any crime.
Unfortunately, you never can predict what's going to happen during the trial. And Jackie's mother took the stand and recanted a lot of the information that she had given before.
In the court, you need proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So now the jury is left with making a decision. Who's lying? Everybody's lying. and they found Jackie not guilty of first-degree murder. Charlie went to his grave, and nobody paid the price. It's the reality of the court system. You're innocent until you're proven guilty.
In my opinion, I don't believe Charlie killed himself. I think it was a wrong decision on their part. I think she got away with killing Charlie.
Girl, I can't believe you gave him your number.
It may be late, but Carol McClendon and Rhonda Simmons are still riding high after a night on the town.
Girl, he was cute.
Carol's going to drop Rhonda off at her townhouse.
Wait, what's going on at your mom's house?
Carol points out to Rhonda, but there's an ambulance parked there.
Can you imagine what they'd be thinking? Is my family in danger? Are they hurt? They have no idea what's going on, but they know that it's something very serious.
Oh my God.
20 minutes later, Kenda pulls up to a suburban home awash in police lights. Detective Perry Freeman is already on the scene.
Hey, Lieutenant. Sorry to drag you out at this hour.
Anything else going on?
In '94, I was one of 6 homicide detectives that worked under Joe Kenda. And when I arrived, there were a number of uniforms already there.
So what do we got?
Victim's name is Willie Jackson, age 65.
He spent 20 years in the Air Force. Now, this guy, he looks like he's 45. He's in great shape for a 65-year-old man.
You know, he's somebody who really takes care of himself. He works at the fitness center at Fort Carson.
His wife's a lot younger, maybe mid-40s. He lived here with her and her teenage son.
So who made the call?
Wife did.
Said she found her husband on the bedroom floor unresponsive, no pulse.
Thinks it might have been alcohol poisoning.
Alcohol poisoning. What do you think?
I only did a walkthrough, but she could be right.
Normally, when I walk into a crime scene, nobody's in there. And when I walked into this crime scene,
So what's with the full house?
there was a mob in there.
They were here when I got here.
There are 3 women and a young male standing around in this kitchen.
So who are all these people?
These 2 are the wife's daughter and a friend.
He said they saw the EMTs and they stopped on their way home. So they weren't here when this event occurred.
How about the other 2?
Well, one is his wife, Tony, and the kid is named Malik. He is the wife's son by another marriage.
Now, they live here. They were here when the ambulance got on scene.
Someone runs a tight ship here.
Yeah, sure looks that way.
I found the house to be fairly tidy, well-kept. Things were in their normal places.
The one thing detectives find to be out of place is the victim himself.
When we first observed Willie's body, he was on the floor of a bedroom.
It's a strange place to lay down. I guess he was drunk.
You could smell the alcohol. So the assumption was that he had just been drinking recently.
Paramedics said they found him in that position.
In Colorado, a body is never disturbed until a coroner is present. We observe what we can see without moving the body.
On initial observation, there was no ligature marks, there was no bullet wound, there was no trauma observed at all.
So what do you got so far?
I'll show you. So it's totally possible that he died of natural causes or alcohol poisoning, but take a look at this.
So he rolls the victim over onto his stomach.
Looks like he might have been stabbed.
Now we have a mystery on our hands.
It's small, but it could go pretty deep. It's in a really bad spot.
There are important vessels that run through the thigh, one of which is the femoral artery, the main artery that supplies blood to the lower extremity.
If it was deep enough, could have hit an artery. He could have bled to death. It's too soon to say. Have to wait on the autopsy.
Right. Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Kind of a strange place for a stabbing.
Yeah, just one wound.
We're all thinking that's a very unusual place to be stabbed. And we thought possibly he had cut himself on something outside, or maybe he had been injured before he even came home from work. He could have fallen on something.
It's odd. Even if the wound didn't hit the artery, it seems like it still would have bled plenty.
So if we're concerned about blood loss being the significant factor here, where is it?
There's no blood on the bed or the walls.
This place is clean.
And he pulls the sheets back. Ooh, now that's significant.
We found that there was a large soaking of blood into the mattress of the bed next to the body.
That's a lot of blood.
The bloodstain has been concealed by clean sheets. Why would somebody do that?
Hey, Lieutenant, can I talk to you?
Of course.
I don't know if it was connected or not, but I've answered 2 calls here today. The last one was about several hours ago.
He said somebody called 911 and we responded here on a welfare check.
Miss Jackson answered the door, said nothing going on, and she didn't need the place, so we left.
And then a couple hours later, she calls back, and now we're here.
Who made the first 911 call?
I don't know. I'll have to call dispatch to find out.
So where's the wife now?
She's over here.
I'm gonna talk to her. Thanks.
Up to this point in the investigation, Tony hasn't been talked to yet. Now it's time to find out what was going on in this household tonight.
Who concealed blood in my crime scene?
Tony, I'm Lieutenant Kenda. I'm very sorry about your husband. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
No, that's fine.
When I meet Tony, she's upset, somewhat soft-spoken.
How long have you known Willie?
We've been married for about 2 years now.
She said, I met him at the Garcia Gym on Fort Carson, where he's employed as a trainer. She said, we fell in love very quickly.
He was actually married at the time, but wasn't happy, so he left her for me.
And it's your belief he died of alcohol poisoning?
When I met him, I knew he liked to drink, but I never realized it was this bad.
She said, I noticed in the last few months that the drinking became a problem and we began to argue a lot.
Can you walk me through what happened?
Willie came home late. He usually gets off at 9, but didn't get here until 10:30. I was on the phone with my ex-husband at the time, discussing some issues about our son, Malik.
Cornelius, he needs his father. You should come out and see him.
She said he was so drunk he could barely stand up.
Can't you see I'm on the phone? Oh my God, is that blood? What the hell did you do now?
None of your damn business. Who the hell are you talking to?
Will you lower your voice? It's just Malik's dad.
Oh, that son of a bitch. Give me that.
Willie!
She said he was so angry, he jerked the phone line out of the wall to prevent me from continuing to talk to my ex-husband.
He gets so jealous over the smallest things. I was so mad. I yelled at him to go to bed and sleep it off. And finally, he slunk off.
Tony believes her ex-husband, Cornelius, must have been worried when the line went dead. Apparently, he called 911 to have police check on her.
But she sent the officers away because at the time they arrived, there was no problem, she said.
What happened next?
Well, Malik had come home, and I sent him to his room in case Willie woke up. I didn't want any more tension between those two. And I guess the whole time, Willie kept going on his whiskey. So I went in to check on him. Oh my God, Willie, are you okay? So much blood. Did you drink all this?
She said he mumbled something. She couldn't understand what it was.
Okay, just lift your head up.
But she put a pill under his head and decided that she needed to clean these sheets before any stains set in.
So I got that going and something just didn't feel right. I had this sick feeling. So I went back to check on him again. Oh my God, Willie! Malik!
Why?
Malik, get in here!
She called Malik, her son, to come up, and at that point they realized it was probably time to call 911.
Here's the bed sheets and rags that I used to clean the carpet in the bedroom.
Okay, now this is important. Did you clean up blood anywhere else in the house besides the bedroom?
No. Why?
So, well, he's got a puncture wound in his leg. And if it hit a major vein or an artery, it's possible he could have bled to death.
Seriously?
We're also considering the possibility that he was stabbed this evening.
You mean someone could have killed him?
She appeared to be very shocked.
Can you think of anyone that might want to harm your husband?
No.
You mentioned he left work at 9 and didn't get home until 10:30. Any idea where he stopped on the way?
He didn't say.
Here's my card. If you think of anything else, give me a call. I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
We're gonna find out who did this. I promise.
Kenda wonders, did a fight between Willie and his stepson turn deadly? And did Tony help cover for her son?
We want to talk to Cornelius, his natural father, to find out about Malik as a person. Is he capable of violent behavior?
Hi, this is Lieutenant Kenda with the Colorado Springs Police Department. I'd like to ask you a few questions regarding the death of Willie Jackson. Is now a good time?
Sure, what can I do for you?
I said, so why is it that Malik is living with his mother and the late Willie Jackson and not with you?
Well, I recently retired from the Army and was looking for a job up here in Washington.
Now, Malik was living with me then, but he was having problems in school.
What type of problems?
Kids picking on him, starting fights.
He started cutting classes and his grades dropped.
Thought the change of pace might do him some good, give him a fresh start.
She said, so I discussed it with my ex-wife, and she agreed she and her new husband, Willie, would deal with Malik.
And when did he move here to the Springs?
About 3 months ago, but things haven't gotten any better.
The night Willie died, Tony actually called me, asking me what she should do about Malik.
Cornelius indicated that at that time, while he was on the phone with Tony, he heard Willie come home.
He was screaming at her.
I heard her yell in the background for me to call 911.
And then the line went dead. And he called to have the police check on what's going on in that house. So we now know that Cornelius, in fact, was the person who made that first phone call.
I was really worried about Tony and my son. I mean, they had me freaking out.
Let me ask you this. Which do you think is more likely? That your ex-wife would be violent toward Willie, or that your son would be violent protecting his mother?
I don't know. I don't want to think any of those things happen.
All right, well, I appreciate the help. Thank you.
With Tony and Malik equally good suspects, Kenda hatches a plan to tip the scales.
When we start to focus on one or two people, we'll again review the physical evidence, seeing if it gives us a better insight into what happened.
What's this all about?
Mrs. Jackson, we have a warrant to search the premises for further evidence.
What? What more could you possibly need?
Please step aside.
Well, right away, Tony's very defensive, like, you know, we already told you everything that happened.
Luckily for Kenda, his crime scene technicians have something that can bring the truth to light.
Luminol is a chemical agent that crime scene investigators can spray at crime scenes. Essentially, it's a way to detect hidden blood or blood that's been cleaned up at a scene.
So we search this entire house. They spray the suspected areas where blood might be. It will cause the blood stain to fluoresce in the dark. It turns a weird blue-green color.
Is everybody ready?
Sure. Wow.
And we find blood all over this house. When humans die from bleeding to death, their blood can tell you the story of the death. All of it speaks to, look at this. This is why Willie Jackson is dead. When we began this investigation, we had a crime scene with very little blood. But after spraying luminol, there is blood all over this house. Without a doubt, this is where Willie Jackson was stabbed.
There's blood stains on the walls. There's blood stains on the doorknobs. There's blood stains on the floor. A lot more than the human eye would ever have seen.
And it's very obvious that this is a much bigger deal than we thought initially.
Looks like he was stabbed in the kitchen. Near the phone.
And they made a huge effort to cover up the evidence. Must have taken them hours.
Investigators begin removing carpet and tiles to place into evidence.
You guys are wrecking my house.
Well, that's not our intention. We're just doing our jobs.
So she is coming unstuck. Now she's very, very worried and has a very, very guilty appearance.
What, you think me and my son did this?
I find it awfully strange that you said the only place you cleaned up blood was in this bedroom. And now we're finding it all over the house.
But my son had nothing to do with this.
Then who did?
I don't know.
We're looking at her, and she's unable to maintain eye contact. Her body language is a flight body language. She's a nervous wreck.
You sure you don't want to change your statement? Anything you want to add?
I already told you the truth.
I mean, it's pretty obvious to me, based on my own experience, that Tony's up to her neck in the death of her husband.
But Kenda still needs Tony to admit that. And he knows just how to coerce her into doing so.
Okay. Are you willing to take a polygraph to prove it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is that too tight? You know, when you sit down in that chair and the polygraph test is about to start, that's when you maybe realize, wait a minute, maybe I'm not able to kind of lie my way through this. Miss Jackson, are you okay?
Stop. I'm not gonna do this.
Just sit tight.
So the polygraphist went out and told Kenda, hey, she's not taking the test.
I stabbed him. I stabbed Willie. I was trying to defend myself.
It's okay. Just tell us what happened.
He came home from work that night already drunk.
What? Are you trying to get me arrested?
Willie, I'm sick of this. It's the same thing every night.
Why don't you just leave then?
Yeah, okay, maybe I will.
He is standing over her. He is choking her.
You gonna learn to do what the hell I say. Huh? Huh? You hear me? You listening to me? Huh?
And she grabbed a steak knife.
He lets go of her, and as he walks away, she just poked him in the back of the leg.
That blade finds the only place in his back of his left thigh that would kill him. It is magic. Or in the case of Willie Jackson, the worst possible luck.
He went to bed. I thought he'd sleep off the booze, so I started cleaning up before Malik came upstairs. I was so upset I didn't even know he was dying.
She never thought in her wildest dreams that, stabbing someone in the leg like that could cause their death.
In my opinion, I do not believe Tony had any intent to kill him. She wanted to hurt him, and that's not the same thing.
After reviewing the case, the DA concludes that Tony Jackson was acting in self-defense and declines to press murder charges.
She legitimately seemed to be telling the truth about being fearful for her life. He's choking her. He's highly intoxicated. Grabbing the knife was just kind of an instinctive thing. But I think she actually thought things could escalate to the point that she could possibly die that evening.
On this particular evening, I was in police headquarters reviewing my officers' reports.
Hey, Sarge. Got a woman out front. You probably need to come talk to her.
All right, just give me a few minutes.
She's pretty worked up.
Well, okay then. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I ask what's wrong?
And I meet this woman. She says her name is Pam Olson, and she's very agitated.
It's my husband, Larry. He's threatening to kill himself.
She says that she no longer lives with her husband and that he called her to tell her that he had 2 loaded handguns and he intended to kill himself. and he would kill anyone, particularly the police, who attempt to intervene.
This isn't the first time this happened. But now, I really think he's gonna do it.
And where is he now?
At his trailer on North Cascade.
Is he alone?
Does he have hostages? Is there somebody in this house with him that he's holding at gunpoint?
As far as I know, he's alone. I mean, it's just really just him and the cat.
Do you mind stepping back here? We can talk in private.
We need to continue to talk to her to learn more about Larry's personality. Why does he get so agitated? What are his problems?
As Kenda continues to speak with Pam Olson, officers rush to the trailer park in hopes of defusing the situation.
Mr. Olson came out and confronted him.
You get me SWAT! I'm gonna tell you SWAT!
We're gonna need TEU out here.
TEU stands for the Tactical Enforcement Unit. It is the Colorado Springs Police Department's SWAT team.
Pam reports that she's been married to Larry for the past 10 years, and they have 2 small children together. The relationship was good for a while, but things eventually began to unravel, especially after he lost his job as a plumber.
Oh, he's been depressed for so long now. And he's an alcoholic. That's one reason I kicked him out of the house.
And how long ago was that?
Well, we've been separated for about a year now. He straightened out for a while, but I knew it wouldn't last.
So do you think he relapsed?
When he called me today, he was slurring his words.
In the opinion of his estranged wife, is drunk, and that's an advantage to us.
Excuse me for a second. I need to pass on some of that information to the officers at Larry's house. Sergeant Kenda to Sergeant Velez.
If he sobers up, he may be more reasonable than he would be when he's intoxicated.
I tried about 4 times to contact Mr. Olson when I first got there, and I couldn't get a hold of him.
Guess we'll try again in a bit.
Less than 30 minutes later, the Tactical Enforcement Unit arrives.
Come on.
Hey, Lou.
How you doing, Cecil? Thanks for coming.
Yes, sir.
Right this way.
Velez brings TEU Sergeant Cecil Hutchison up to speed.
So what's this guy's name?
Larry Olson.
Larry Olson. Seriously?
Why, you know him?
Hutchison says, we've dealt with this guy twice before when he's done precisely the same thing.
First time about 4 years ago, he had a house over on Zion Street. Lived with his wife and his kids. Same deal.
Hey, Larry, can you come outside so we can talk?
Hutchison explains that he'd been firing shots in his house and threatening to kill himself. TEU was summoned. They surrounded the property.
Hey, Larry, why don't you come on outside and we can talk about it?
I'll come out and talk, but I want to do it on camera. I want to be on the news so everybody can see.
That's something that we certainly wanted to avoid, but we did realize we could use this opportunity.
Hey, before we do this, you guys want a beer?
Yeah, actually, we'd love one. That'd be great.
Police were able to go down the street where they'd cordoned off the media and grab a camera and actually pretend that they were a news crew.
Here you go.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
And that gives police the opportunity to really overcome him.
2 other TEU officers take him down.
This is bull. Let it go. I didn't do anything. Ow! Let me go. Ow! This is bull. Let go.
He was extremely upset about the rouge that we used, and I believe that he was very hostile towards SWAT because of that previous situation.
So there was a second incident with this guy?
Yeah, second time, more of the same.
Try that again!
Olson has a violent confrontation with his wife and throws her and the children out of the house, and TEU is summoned once again.
This ain't over, pigs! This ain't over!
And that guy just won't quit. Yeah, you can say I'm familiar with Larry Olson. He can be really violent, so you better be careful on this one.
Honestly, I don't like the fact that he requested you guys to come down to the scene.
Yeah, me neither. He's never done that before.
You have to take someone at their word when they make threats. He said 16 months ago he was going to get even with SWAT. Well, this evening he has a chance to do precisely that. We're going to have to believe it.
He's been in a bad way for some time now.
She said that he was married once before and he lost his first wife and his first child in an automobile accident in Minnesota 14 years ago. And he never really emotionally recovered from that.
Sometimes the sadness overwhelms him. He even started writing poems to get the feelings out, but it didn't help much. The whole time I've known him, he's really struggled.
Now, you mentioned he had 2 similar incidents with police.
Yeah, but he was never charged for anything.
The judge thought he required mental health counseling and prescription for antidepressants. And she said on both of those occasions, they did help for a while, but only for a while. And now here we are again.
But why today? Can you think of anything that might have pushed him over the edge?
There was something.
She reluctantly said, I filed for divorce a few months ago, and the divorce became final today. Well, that certainly is a very powerful motivator to someone with a history of depression.
I feel terrible.
And this isn't your fault.
With the situation at the trailer park still unstable, TEU moves into position.
You're replacing patrol officers with tactical enforcement unit officers because they are A, well-trained, B, protected by full body armor, and C, very heavily armed.
With the area now secure, TEU officer David Moore hopes to help Sergeant Velez talk some sense into Larry Olson.
He asked for SWAT, and we gave him SWAT, so maybe he'll talk now.
So they try the number again, and
What?
lo and behold, Olson answers.
Listen, we want to help you, but I need to ask you something first. Are you alone? Is anyone there with you?
Yeah, PJ's here.
PJ? Who's PJ?
That's my cat.
His cat.
So Velez tries to get personal with him. So Larry, what are you doing?
I'm done, man. I got a needle and some potassium chloride here.
Potassium chloride in a number of states is utilized in capital punishment to have an inmate put to death. He could inject himself to kill himself.
Larry, why do you want to hurt yourself?
My life's a mess. I lost my first wife and kid, and today, my woman said she don't love me no more. I can't go through that again.
He was slurring his speech a little bit. I wasn't sure whether he had taken alcohol or drugs or both, for that matter.
Larry.
I'm not going back to the loony bin again. Done with all that. Everything, okay?
We'll take you SWAT out! I told you this ain't over!
Now, we were already aware that he'd made threats against TEU, but now he's making a direct threat. He's refusing to maintain contact. We have no ability to reduce his anxiety. So now we're in a total standoff. What's going to happen next is determined by what he does next. So we're 3 hours into this situation, agonizing about what's going to happen next. When Olson suddenly comes out the front door of his trailer.
Hands in the air, Larry! Freeze, Larry! Hands in the air! Hands in the air, Larry! Do it now!
He comes down the steps and advances further into the street than he ever has in the past.
Put your hands in the air, Larry! Do it now!
Because of Hutchinson's proximity, he can see that Olson has a large, long-barreled handgun in his waistband.
Don't do it, Larry.
Hands in the air, now!
At that point, he was looking in our direction, and you could see the eye contact with Mr. Olson and Sergeant Hudson. He was reaching for his gun. This was an immediate threat to us.
We're in a gun confrontation here with this individual, and it's time to end it.
And that's when a decision was made by the sergeant to fire his weapon.
The following morning, the district attorney's office begins an investigation, assisted by Detective John Anderson of the CSPD Homicide Unit.
Whenever a police officer shoots a person, in this case kills him, we need to determine if this case was a justifiable homicide. He had been shot once with a shotgun and really caused some devastating entry wounds.
I don't smell any alcohol.
There is a great deal of blood of Mr. Olson on his person, and human blood always carries the odor of alcohol with it, so whatever is causing him to stumble isn't alcohol.
Larry Olson was armed with 2 handguns. In the residence, we find 2 other firearms. One was a .44 Magnum. The other one was a .22 Magnum Derringer.
This guy wasn't messing around. Potassium chloride.
Also, there's 2 bottles of potassium chloride, a rubber tourniquet, and a syringe.
He said he had that stuff, and he did. He had guns, he had bullets, he had poison chemicals. He didn't use it. He wanted the police to do it for him.
In the bathroom, investigators discover what caused Larry to seem so intoxicated.
We did find a nearly empty bottle of prescription medication and barbiturates. An overdose circumstance would produce the same sorts of behavior as drunkenness from alcohol, the staggering and the slurred speech.
Also in the residence, we find photographs of his first family as well as his second family and a suicide note.
That note basically was to his wife, and that he did plan on harming himself, and that he couldn't do anything right. It was very short and succinct.
It sounded like Larry was so depressed that he was immobilized, and he couldn't say anything that felt it had any real meaning to him or anybody else. He just wanted to die.
But perhaps it's what investigators find next that provides a deeper motive for Larry's desperate actions.
We found a book that was authored by Larry Olson. Looked like it was more of a self-published book. And what got my attention was about the author, which was inside the flap.
He's talking about how his family died in a car accident in Minnesota.
Kind of strange to put in a little blurb on a book jacket.
I know. I'm gonna look into this.
So the police in Minnesota confirmed to Detective Anderson that the original Mrs. Olson and a small child were killed in an automobile accident. However, it was also determined that Larry Olson was the driver of the car and he was drunk. He killed his wife and his first child in a DUI single-car accident. So Mr. Olson was not suffering from sadness, he was suffering from guilt. So we can't really say what motivated Larry Olson to do what he did, but we can make an educated guess. That morning, Larry gets notice of the final end of his marriage, and he's popping pills. He's waxing philosophic about his life. He's writing a suicide note saying how he wants it all to end. Then Larry gets this potassium chloride and a syringe, but he doesn't really have the nerve to do it that way. He has his guns and they're loaded and ready to rock, but he really can't do that either. So what's he do next? He calls his ex-wife, says, "I'm gonna kill myself," and that causes her to come to the police. So the police arrive and Larry pops a few more pills and walks outside and reaches for that gun, knowing it's the last thing he'll ever do. And it was.
Later that day, Kenda offers his condolences to Larry's family.
I'm very sorry, Pam. You know, our officers found Larry's cat. We'd be happy to put him up for adoption.
No, we'll take him. He's our family pet. He went with Larry when we broke up because he was the one thing that cheered Larry up.
She says, no, I'm gonna take that cat. You know, it's a little part of Larry. I'm gonna take it with me, take it home.
Thank you.
PJ!
Yay! There's PJ. He missed you. Yay! He missed you.
Mr. Olson, for whatever twisted reason or series of sin, concluded that he wanted to end his life. I would often say to families who lost a family member through suicide, there is no reason in the unreasonable. You can't explain that, ever.
It's getting late, and the Uinta Gardens shopping center is looking like a ghost town. The pharmacy is the last store to lock up.
The store was being closed at 9:45 by the manager, Joe, and Herlinda, who was one of the cashiers.
There was snow outside and it was cold.
Is that Cynthia's car? Looks like it.
Cynthia worked the cosmetic counter.
What's she still doing here?
Immediately, this is bad because she checked out 45 minutes before.
The lights were on and the car was running.
Cynthia?
And the windshield had some ice scraped off.
Where is she?
We just thought that was kind of strange. Why would she leave her car just sitting there running?
Cynthia! Cynthia?
None of it made any sense at all. The worst thing you could possibly think comes to your mind.
Cynthia!
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 Cynthia McLuhan. She was 22 years old when she went missing. Coworkers found her abandoned vehicle in the parking lot where she worked.
No evidence in the car and no witnesses.
It was a bone-chilling afternoon, 42 days after Cynthia McLuhan disappeared from her workplace.
A 17-year-old named Robert Stogner was jogging through a cemetery in the west side of Colorado Springs.
As Robert went through Fairview Cemetery, he noticed something looked odd. And in fact, as he got closer,
This is no longer a missing persons case. Somebody took her and killed her.
Because it was so cold outside, her body was well preserved.
In cold temperatures, aside from the whiteness of the skin, they look the same as they did when they were alive.
It was a brutal scene.
I responded to the cemetery. Cynthia's body was covered with blood. She'd been stabbed numerous times. She was completely naked except for her shoes and her socks.
There are definite signs of sexual assault.
Yeah, no doubt.
There is rape, there is murder.
How her body's just positioned up like that.
Yeah, that's strange.
She's kind of sitting down but bent forward, a very unnatural position. It's not one that would look comfortable. Out of all the homicides I've worked, I don't remember ever coming across a body position just this way.
Some sexual criminals will pose the remains and stand back and admire them for a period of time. It sounds profoundly sick because it is.
This guy didn't hold anything back, did he?
She had been stabbed 25 times.
Get some photos.
So do you know if the sexual assault happened in the cemetery or was it just a dumping ground?
Well, it's possible. We didn't see any drag marks or any kind of blood trails.
This is a remote cemetery with very little foot traffic, which is precisely why Cynthia's killer brought her there. The ghost, the shadow, shows up in that parking lot.
Let go! Shut up!
Forcibly puts her in his car, drives to the cemetery, raped her, and immediately killed her in the same spot. And then drove off with her clothing and dumped it in this motel in the central downtown.
In this case, think about it. Abduction from a parking lot, rape, extreme knife violence, the way he positioned the body. I mean, it all seems pretty peculiar.
Sexual criminals commit a crime in precisely the same way on every occasion. These are not isolated incidents. These people tend to commit and reoffend all the time. It's what they do. Their appetite increases for the behavior.
Ken, are you saying you think this is a serial killer?
Well, that's certainly a possibility. But that would mean he's done this before, or at least in the 3 years since. Let me ask you this. Have either of you been involved in a murder like this before? Because I sure haven't.
Me?
No.
What if our guy doesn't have a relationship with our victim? What if our man is a transient? He is a tourist. He's here for a time and then he's gone again. And he is elsewhere doing the same thing. We've never considered it.
Which means if we're going to catch this guy, we're going to need to start looking at similar cases outside of Colorado. Let's go. All right, listen up.
Kenda and his team expand their search to a national scale.
So we've put together a broadcast to all law enforcement agencies in the U.S. describing our crime and asking for similar offenses or similar MOs by perpetrators in their jurisdiction, from huge departments to tiny ones. The national broadcast is out for a while, and we're not getting much results.
Hey, Kenda, I think I've got something here.
But all of a sudden, we do.
It's from Florida.
Lou Smith found a correspondence from a homicide detective in St. Petersburg, Florida, mentioning a James Lamar Rhodes.
The guy's 26 years old. It says here he's raped and attempted murder of 4 different girls with a knife. He's also suspected of 2 full-blown murders. Sound familiar?
Rhodes had abducted 4 young girls in 45 days. One of them sounded remarkably similar to Cynthia's.
In June of 1984, a 17-year-old girl who worked at an ice cream shop went outside end of her shift.
Hey, you want to go for a jog?
And a man approached her.
Come on. What are you doing? Let me go!
I wouldn't say a word if I were you.
The man then took her to a secluded place by some railroad tracks and proceeded to rape her and stab her repeatedly. James Rhodes left her for dead. But she did not die.
Somehow she survived and was able to identify Rose as a suspect, and the physical evidence confirmed it. And guess where the bastard was December '82? Colorado Springs.
He was living in Colorado Springs for approximately 60 days during the time frame that the Cynthia McLuhan case occurred.
So how do we find this guy?
Well, he's currently in Florida prison. He's serving 6 consecutive life sentences for attempted murder.
Looks like we need to go to Florida.
When somebody gives you a series of facts that are so good, that fit perfectly with what you're doing, you can feel it. This is him. There is no doubt in anyone's mind that James Lamar Rhodes is our target. We need to go to Florida and have him tell us that.
while Smith is en route to Florida. Kenda's team is preparing background info to pass on to him. The following day, Smith arrives at Florida's Cross City Correctional Center to speak with their #1 suspect.
This is Smith's opportunity to work his magic, and he is magical.
Mr. Rhodes, I'd like to thank you for having this meeting with me. I'm Detective Schmidt.
I understand you want to talk about a case?
Well, actually, James, I really want to talk about you. You see, James, I'm curious as to how you ended up in Colorado a few years back.
No particular reason. I struggled to find work in Texas, so I always loved the mountains. I headed over to Colorado Springs and found a job as a roofer.
I did a little carpentry myself.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was not an expert, but I did some stuff around the house. Made me feel like a man, like I was really in control. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Smith knew how to establish rapport with Rhodes. In a very short period of time, they were chatting as if they were lifelong friends.
James, you probably saw a lot of different places when you were a kid, right? Well, I bet that was hard, having to always be responsible for yourself.
You wouldn't know the half of it.
What do you mean?
You wouldn't believe some of the things I've done in the places I've been. Hell, I'd write a book about it if they wouldn't throw me in the electric chair.
All serial killers are narcissists. They like attention. And I think if it were possible, every psychopathic killer would probably write a book, because they would then have a chance to brag about what they did.
And what would you write about during your stay up there in Colorado?
Look, I'd tell you, but I don't want them to fry me.
What if I told you that they won't? The DA says he'll take the death penalty off the table.
All right, I'll tell you what happened.
No. I want you to show me.
Smith says, we're going to transport you back to Colorado, and I want you to walk me through this. I want you to show me what you did.
All right. What the hell?
Not 24 hours later, Kenda picks up Smith and Rhodes at the airport, and they set out on their guided tour of murder.
When James Rhodes came back to Colorado, he wanted to show off. He was going to get one more thrill out of it and show how well he did what he did.
It was right here. I saw her leaving work. Something just came over me.
You didn't know her?
I'd never seen her before.
She was scraping her windows on her car.
Hey.
And he walked up behind her.
Can I help you?
Oh, no, I got it, thanks.
Come on, let me help you.
No, it's fine. Wait,
Get in the car! Shut up! Come back here! Come back here!
He said he threw her in his car.
Get in the car! Shut up! Come back here! Come back here!
Now, Cynthia McLuhan weighed 107 pounds. He could easily take physical control of her.
Let's go.
He said he wound up in a cemetery, a secluded area.
Right over here. This is where it was. I took out the knife and I told her to get on the ground.
Please don't kill me.
Get on the ground.
I will do anything.
Get out.
Get out.
He disrobed her.
Get on me.
He raped her. Then he said she tried to grab the knife, and it infuriated him. He said, my arm was just flying with that knife. He said, I normally don't stab people more than a few times. I don't know why I stabbed her so many. 25 times, you say? God, that's really nuts, isn't it? Yes, James, it really is nuts. Just like you.
Frankly, I think he was enjoying himself so much he couldn't stop. He saw Cynthia McLuhan as this object to play with, and it seems quite possible he continued his play with her by posing her.
He left her. He had her clothing in the car, and he thought he had to get rid of that. So he drove by this motel and dumps the clothing in the purse.
What'd you do with her bra and panties?
I don't remember.
I find that hard to believe.
He has a good memory, and yet he says he doesn't remember certain things, and that's nonsense. He does remember.
All right, let's go.
But for whatever reason, he doesn't want to say it.
The state of Colorado convicts James Rhodes of first-degree murder and sentences him to life in prison. But he won't be serving that time just yet.
Florida has first dibs on this guy, so he goes back to Florida to serve 6 consecutive life terms, and if he survives that, he comes to Colorado to serve yet another one.
Although he's only been convicted of attempted murder in Florida, James Rhodes is suspected of killing up to 10 other young women. However, none of those cases have been proven.
One of the major misconceptions about serial killers is that they are crazy. They are not crazy. They are very disturbed. Their impulses seem to reign freely in a way that's more consistent with a wild animal than a human being.
He was just a monster. How can somebody do the awful things that he did and leave a little girl without her mother?
2 victims, married couple, both suffered stab wounds.
I was one of the first detectives to arrive at the scene, and all we knew is that Jerry Denton, the husband, had a stab wound in his back, and his wife, Pat Denton, had actually been stabbed in the neck.
He took them both to the hospital. Jerry isn't in too bad shape, but word on his wife is she's unlikely to survive.
Any kids?
Yeah, they got 2, but they're both at school.
The most common call that the police respond to is a domestic disturbance, where husbands and wives get into violent confrontations.
Was this something that happened between the 2 of them, or were there any other suspects?
This is where EMS found the body.
There's a large pool of blood in the kitchen, followed by a blood trail. It's apparent that she staggers and collapses on the floor. Detective Arms tells me that the house phone line had been cut, which explains why the 911 call was made from a neighbor's house.
What have we got in here?
In the house, there was a pile of clothes on the floor. That seemed out of place for this crime scene.
Who do you think they belong to?
Could be any number of people.
Is it the husband's clothes? Is it somebody else's? Somebody got undressed in here. Why would they do that?
I've got an idea. Where's the bedroom at?
Right this way.
So we went up to the master bedroom.
Wanna grab one of those?
Found the husband's shoes and compared the shoes to these.
The different sizes.
That led us to believe that they were not Jerry's clothes.
We go back downstairs. We go looking around. We find the patio door has been broken.
Sergeant, here, check this out.
Coins.
The physical evidence indicates this is a burglary. It's somebody who's doing a crime in this house, not a boyfriend of the wife, and not the husband.
Kind of dispatch.
Kenda and I broadcast out to the officers in the immediate vicinity of the crime scene, warning them to be on the lookout for someone who is considered dangerous, would have only been wearing underwear and socks.
As the search commences, Kenda and ARM's hope victim Jerry Denton might be able to bring some clarity to the investigation.
Why don't you just start from the beginning?
Okay, well, it all started late this morning when I was at work. Yeah.
Something happened, but don't worry. April and I are fine.
What do you mean? What happened?
Pat tells him that there's a neighbor kid that came to the house this morning at 10 o'clock, and she recognized him, so she let him in.
Pat said he was acting strangely, so she sent April to her room. And then she said he pulled out a knife and he was gonna rape her.
But she's able to talk him out of doing this, and is able to basically have him eventually leave the house without engaging in any type of sexual assault.
And obviously, I'm freaking out as she's telling me all this.
Are you at the police station now?
No, I'm at home.
What?
I don't think we need to call cops, sweetheart.
Honey, this is serious. You could be in danger. But why don't you drive over to my office? You can spend the rest of the day here.
Okay, well, I have to take April to kindergarten anyway, so I will see you in a little bit.
And that's when you called the police to tell them what happened?
No, we didn't call you guys that time. Pat wouldn't let me.
Why not exactly?
One of the ways that Pat got the perpetrator out of the house was to promise not to call the police if he didn't harm her.
I should have put my foot down and called, but we didn't. And then when we got home, that's when it happened.
Jerry tells us that he and Pat got home in separate cars, but essentially at the same time. Pat walks into the house, and Jerry initially goes to check the mail. He sees that Pat's been stabbed in the neck.
No, you gotta let go.
He said he didn't know what to do. He took the knife out and tried to put a towel around her neck.
Look at me. You're okay. Look at me. You're... No, it's okay. It's okay. Look at me. It's okay. You're fine. You're fine. Look at me. You're okay. Stay away from me.
And that's when he got attacked from behind.
I saw him just standing there, this brown-haired teen. He was going crazy and stuff.
Stay the away from me, man. You kill me, I'll kill you. I swear.
And then he ran out of the house.
Did you see where he went?
No, but I'm guessing he went home because he was just in his underwear and socks. Maybe Pat might know in house. I don't know.
Detectives hope to gather more information from Pat Denton herself. But there's one problem.
Pat couldn't talk. She'd had surgery to repair her throat.
I know you're not supposed to talk.
So we explain who we are and what we're doing. And I said, I know you're not supposed to speak to me, but can you write?
Can you tell us the name of the person that did this to you?
She writes David.
You know his last name? How about where he lives?
Mrs. Denton writes directly across the street, one house to the left.
Police department!
Get on the bed. Get out of the bed right now. Get out of the bed. Hands on your head. Turn around to the bed. Hands behind your back.
What's going on? I didn't do anything.
David, where were you between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m.?
I've been sleeping.
Let's clear this up.
The shoes we found in that house, the crime scene, are a size 10. David's are a size 7.
Go ahead and uncuff him. Sorry for the intrusion, David. Lynn, can you bring in Miss Andrews?
So at that point, we're kind of confused because we have David, but David's not our guy.
So much for the David lead. Apologies, Miss Andrews.
Wait. Are you guys looking for the other David?
The other David?
My friend David. He's been staying with us for a while.
He's got some problems, I guess you could say.
Well, that would be the David that I'm looking for because he has a lot of problems. The mother explains that David Dodson, he's kind of a lost soul. She felt sorry for him, and she allowed him to move in.
Have you seen David at all since this morning? We think he might have returned to get some clothes.
No, he hasn't been back.
Where is he now? This kid is naked, he's on foot. He needs to find clothing, and he needs to find a way out because he assumes, quite correctly, that the police are on his heels.
Excuse me, Sergeant. Got a report of a stolen car, 2 blocks from the crime scene.
Just like that. Another lead. Is this connected? It's just too close not to be.
Let's go. Excuse me.
Detectives head out to follow up on the potential lead of the stolen car.
I had it parked right there.
Were the keys in there?
Well, no, but I do leave a spare under my bumper.
Back in the days, we all had those little stick-on hide-a-key things.
Was there anything of value in the car?
Not really, just some cash. And my boyfriend left some clothes in there.
Clothes.
This kid gets incredibly lucky. He finds a truck that happens to have jeans, a shirt, and some sneakers. How does that happen?
So now our man has clothes, he's got money, and he's got transport. Now, where does a fugitive run to? Predictable places.
All right, well, thank you.
They go find their mama, their girlfriend, or their money.
Lieutenant Kenda, dispatch.
So I'm thinking now that maybe he's going back to Oklahoma.
I need a bolo put out.
We put out an alert to all agencies in Oklahoma. We're looking for this stolen car that may contain a male David Dodson. We describe him.
2 days later, over 300 miles away in Oklahoma.
It looks like it, doesn't it?
It does.
5-4 dispatch. We got a matching vehicle, that Bolo. Tag 870 Fox Ocean. Wolf. Hey, young man, what's your name?
Officers approached him.
David Dodson.
And he essentially blurted right out.
Stabbed 2 people in Colorado.
Go ahead and turn around for me.
Great. Simple enough.
Put your hand on
Time to put handcuffs on you. We extradite him from Oklahoma to Colorado to face charges.
In addition to confessing to the crime, David Dodson makes a shocking claim.
He indicated that he had taken some LSD that morning and also had been drinking. And so he was in sort of a hazy state of mind, if you will, when this whole thing happened.
Detectives still have many questions, but luckily, there is someone who lived to tell the tale.
Pat Denton's recovering from her injuries, able to speak. She was going to be fine.
Did you know David Dodson prior to this?
I mean, I saw him around the neighborhood. That was about it.
Good morning.
I barely said 2 words to him. And then that morning, he shows up at the house. Hi.
Hi, I'm David from across the street. I was wondering if I could ask for a favor.
Oh, well, sure. What can I do for you?
This young man asked her for a cup of sugar.
How much do you need? April, why don't you go and play in your room for me, okay? Thank you.
Even though April was little, she saw him coming in and she could tell her mom was uncomfortable. Something was off.
Take your clothes off.
What?
Take your clothes off.
What? I'm sorry. I started talking. I made up a story. No, you don't want to do that, David. I'm dying, David. I have AIDS. What? Yeah.
that was really thinking on her feet, and she stuck with it.
Is everything okay?
Not really.
Well, why don't we sit down and talk about it? Would you like some coffee? Or, yeah? Okay. Yeah, it's all right.
She eventually gets him to calm down.
If David had in fact taken LSD, it could explain his impressionable behavior.
Sometimes I feel like I'm dying, you know?
Yeah.
And nobody cares.
Within minutes, he was opening his heart to Pat.
Well, they should care.
She could tell he was a mess and genuinely saw this as an opportunity to get a fellow human being on the right path in life. That's just who she was.
You're not gonna call the cops, are you?
No, I promise. I'm not going to call the cops. David, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get my daughter to kindergarten. So,
She was very, very fortunate that she was able to talk him out of it.
Kenda believes that during the first encounter, David noticed the jars filled with coins.
He thinks about that as the day wears on, and he's still suffering from the effects of the LSD, but he decides now it's time to burglarize their house. When he sees Mrs. Denton come home, he then changes his mind. He decides to carry out what he was going to do before. He cuts the phone line and he strips his clothes off. It doesn't make any sense that he does that, but that's what he does.
As Pat went to scream, he lunged at her and stabbed where the noise was coming from, which is essentially why he got her in the throat. After David stabs Pat, Jerry comes in the house to try to help his wife. And it's at that point when Jerry's focused on his wife that David stabs Jerry in the back.
Stay away from me! If you kill me, I'll kill you, I swear to God.
You're lucky to be alive.
The surgeon said the blade missed her carotid artery by 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 of an inch is nothing. In her case, it meant her life.
She lived. So did Jerry. That's what really matters. They lived.
David Dodson pleads guilty and is sentenced to 16 years for attempted murder and 14 years for assault in the first degree.
People are dangerous. When you see something, you tell someone. You don't rely on your word. Oh, please. To who? A criminal? Call the police. Call the police.
It's morning in the CSPD Investigations Bureau, and rookie homicide detective Joe Kenda is keeping his nose to the grindstone. He's been on the job less than a year.
Hey, Kenda. Yes, Sergeant. I might have a case for you. You up to it? Absolutely, sir.
Sergeant Baines was my sergeant in the Crimes Against Persons Unit, as it was called at that time.
Young woman died, hit by a car. Traffic unit investigated, and they originally thought it was an accident, but they wanted us to take a look just to make sure.
And who's the victim?
Her name was Wanda Murray.
On the night of the accident, traffic investigators questioned the driver who hit Wanda. A man named Charles Clark.
It just happened so fast. I didn't mean to do it.
You're gonna be okay. Just walk me through what happened.
So Charles Clark, driving on Academy, has this car pass him, and he realizes it's going pretty fast. He thought, I wonder if I'm going the speed limit. So he looks down for a second, and then, like, wham, he's hit something.
It shocked him. He looked in the rearview mirror, immediately stopped his car, slamming on the brakes, and realized he had hit a person.
After administering the breathalyzer, traffic investigators checked to see if the physical evidence matched Charles Clark's statement.
It looks more like he ran over her rather than hitting her and striking her down.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any damage to the bumper.
And though Charles Clark hadn't been drinking at the time of the accident, the same can't be said for the victim.
Boy, you smell that?
Yeah, she hit the bottle hard tonight.
Might seem unbelievable, but you can actually smell alcohol in human blood at a death scene.
According to the crime scene report, a trail of blood and skin tissue led up to where the victim's mangled body lay.
I'd say she got hit over there and dragged all the way down to here.
Everything about this crime scene said accident.
Skid marks clearly indicated that he stopped after he struck the victim, which would tell us he didn't see her beforehand. Charles Clark was not charged in this case. The physical evidence showed that he did not do anything wrong.
As far as the police are concerned, the matter's closed.
It looks like your standard auto versus pedestrian. What do you need homicide to do?
All I know is when the coroner's office looked at the body, it raised a red flag.
So we should go see what's up, right, Sarge?
You got it.
Miss Wanda Murray, I'm still waiting on some test results, but I noticed something very odd when I was going through her organs.
What's that?
Well, let me back up a little bit. She was run over, right? Severe injuries to the outside, severe injuries to the inside, too.
She had extensive tears to her lungs, her heart, her liver when the car hit her. But the exception was that she didn't have any bleeding associated with those injuries.
Oh. And what's that mean?
It means that those injuries were caused post-mortem.
So in other words, she was already dead before that car ever came near her.
The medical examiner believed that Wanda actually died of possibly strangulation or blunt force head trauma, and that the motor vehicle accident happened afterwards.
So Sergeant Baines and myself and other detectives arrive at the scene of this accident on Academy Boulevard 4 days later in the daytime.
It hasn't rained since the accident, leaving stains of dried blood spread across the pavement.
The evidence shows her body was lying there, partially in the traffic lane when the car ran over her. Was she walking down the street when she encountered her killer and was strangled? 4 days later, it's impossible to say.
However, the surrounding area gives Kenda an idea. He knows this stretch of road is basically deserted around 2 a.m.
No possibility of any witnesses having seen anything. The perfect place to dump a body.
Hoping to learn whatever they can about Wanda Murray, the detectives head to her last known address, the home of Reverend James McMurn and his wife Mary.
The Reverend James McMurn and his wife Mary were pillars of the community. We talked to Mary and said why we were there, and she was very distressed, of course, by this news.
That girl's life was nothing but misery. It just seems like she could never catch a break.
Wanda was the classic example of a lost childhood. She had a baby when she was still in high school. She dropped out of school.
Come on, babies.
Wanda was separated, divorced from her husband, who kept the children.
And?
She's done her time for shoplifting. And the Reverend and I met her at one of the inmates ministry programs we ran for women.
They decided to sponsor her for her parole and actually give her a place to stay because she didn't have anything.
Mary said when Wanda first came there were no issues at all.
But no one would hire her with that criminal conviction. It really wore on her. I think that's how she lost her faith.
How so?
She had problems with alcohol, and when she was drinking, she started having some very wide mood swings.
What in the world?
I'm just trying to make a sandwich. Can I eat in peace?
Can I make you a sandwich? Just stop, okay?
Mary says that she would go from being aggressive to very quiet, to not saying or doing anything.
We tried to help her, but after a few months, we just asked her to leave.
Do you know where she went?
She said Wanda had been staying with a party by the name of Luther Brown.
Luther was a lieutenant in the Air Force living out at Peterson Air Force Base.
So Luther becomes instantly interesting. He is someone connected to her.
I actually can't believe she's dead.
So our question to him is simple. Tell us about Wanda and tell us about you and Wanda.
He noted that they had a very volatile relationship. There were times where they fought. Wanda drank. When she drank, she had a Jekyll Hyde kind of attitude.
Get out of my way, Luther.
No.
I'm not.
No, you're not driving my car. You're drunk. You're gonna get somebody killed. Cut it out. Stop. Whoa. Stop it.
Give me my key. Who are you calling?
Security.
Luther.
I need you guys at 13C.
Give me.
Right away. Thank you. What are you doing? Like, I just want you safe. Like, what are you doing?
He called security. He was not gonna mess around and see if she was serious about it.
So, Luther, when was the last time you saw Wanda?
It was about 5 or 6 days ago. I couldn't take it anymore, so I broke up with her.
He kicked her out of his apartment the day before her death. Interesting.
And where were you the night of Wanda's death, after she'd moved out?
I was home. I was on base with some friends. I didn't leave that night.
I'm looking into that.
Sure thing, Sergeant.
After a few attempts, Kenda finally reaches the Air Force MPs who responded to Luther Brown's initial disturbance call.
The officers gave Luther Brown a glowing review. They said he was a well-respected officer, and they were able to verify his version of the chain of events. He was not the aggressor. Wanda was the aggressor.
All right, well, I appreciate the information.
Any idea where Wanda went to stay after she left your apartment?
Yeah, of course. She has a friend named Dee Dee. Dee Dee Smith, that's the only person I can think of.
Wanda was Wanda.
Dee Dee knew Wanda was capable of mood swings. So Dee Dee says that that day, just after Luther had kicked her in the street, she was wild. She was really upset.
Dee Dee was able to say she'd gone out to her local favorite watering hole, which was the Cloud 9.
Did you go with her?
Me? No, I don't go out on weeknights. I told her to have a good time, don't be out too late, but she never came home.
Bayans and Kenda head to the Cloud 9 nightclub.
I'm Willie Hicks. I run security around here.
Willie Hicks was a bouncer in a bad place, but Willie was a military policeman at Fort Carson. This was an extra job for him. So we knew Willie was a straight shooter with us.
Do you know a customer named Wanda Murray?
Yeah, I heard she got hit by a car on Academy Boulevard. That's awful, man.
We think she was killed before that happened. We're investigating this as a homicide.
Really?
He says, well, I know who did it, man. I know who killed her then.
The night Wanda died, he saw her drinking with a friend named Faye Greer.
She was drinking excessively.
According to Willie, the trouble started when an Army vet by the name of Kevin Milroy showed up.
Kevin Milroy was Faye Greer's ex-boyfriend. She had broken up with him 3 weeks earlier.
Hey, baby, how are you? You doing all right? Looking good, girl.
He really wanted to get Faye back. He was convinced he could talk her into moving back in, and that was his goal.
Faye didn't want to speak with him, kept sending him away. He didn't really take no for an answer.
Willie said that Wanda was very protective of her gender and would instantly confront a male to stop the behavior of the male being verbally abusive toward a female.
Kevin, you already heard what she said. Now get the hell out of here and leave her alone.
Bitch, this between me and my wife. Stay out of it.
Look, you son of a bitch. She's not your wife, and she ain't going to be either. Now get the hell out of my face before I get you kicked out of here.
And this angered Kevin to the point where he actually threatened her.
Bitch, I'll kill you.
Oh, you gonna kill me? Hey,
break this shit up or everybody getting the fuck up out of here.
Willie explains that Faye eventually agreed to talk to Kevin in private. But just minutes after they stepped outside,
There's a fight out here!
So now everybody piles outside. And there's Kevin. And there's Faye. And Faye's lip is split, and she's got blood all over her face.
You make me sick to my stomach.
What happened?
He just hit me in my mouth.
Honey, go inside and get some ice. You're done. That's it for you, buddy. Man, get your ass out of here.
the following afternoon, Kenda and Bayans summoned Kevin Milroy to the station for questioning.
We know about the fight you had with Faye and Wanda at the club. What we need to know is what happened outside.
What do you mean? Well, you can start by telling us how Faye got that bloody lip.
No. And Kevin says, she hit my elbow with her mouth.
Okay, so however it happened, Faye ended up on the wrong end of your elbow. But you're saying that's the end of it?
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying you never put your hands on Wanda Murray that night?
Huh? Did you choke her? Did you put your hands on her throat?
No. Once the bouncer told me to leave, that's when I left.
And then you drove home?
No, I walked home.
He says his car was damaged and was actually in the shop.
If Kevin's story is true, it would be impossible for him to have dumped Wanda's body by the side of the road.
Academy Boulevard is about 6 miles as the crow flies from this nightclub. When we talked to Faye Greer, she has a seriously injured mouth.
I'll go ahead and have a seat.
When Baines asked her what happened to her mouth, she was unwilling to even say.
So instead, they switched to a seemingly innocent topic.
Faye, can I ask you, does Kevin own a vehicle?
He did, but he wrecked it a few weeks ago. And that idiot is too broke to pay for a mechanic.
And he hasn't been borrowing anyone else's during this whole time?
No, as a matter of fact, everyone's tired of him bumming rides all the time.
Well, he can't get from that nightclub to the Academy Boulevard in the time provided by any other means except an automobile, and he doesn't have one. So Faye ultimately confirms Kevin's alibi.
So Faye, what happened after Kevin split?
Well, my lip was hurt pretty badly. This is terrible.
That looks real bad. You need to go to the hospital.
Yeah, I probably do.
Yeah?
Oh,
You want
girl.
me to go with you?
No. Go ahead on and go and have fun. I'll see you later.
All right, well, I'm probably just gonna go to Ouija's, but I can come with you if you
No.
want me to.
I'll see you later. Have fun tonight. Bye. That was the last time I saw her.
So Wanda was headed to Ouija's.
Yeah. It was around 1 a.m.
So Faye said goodbye, and an hour later, Wanda's dead. Odds are Ouija's was her last stop.
Baines and Kenda want to speak with the late-night bartender there, who's been a help to police on previous cases.
Were you working the bar Monday night at closing time?
Yeah.
Do you remember Wanda Murray being in there? Oh yeah, Wanda was in there.
This well-dressed guy came in, and he sat next to Wanda and ordered a beer. And that's kind of perked her up. Thank you.
So, what kind of trouble are you trying to get into tonight?
Me?
Sandy says they just kind of quietly talked at the bar. That's unusual for Wanda, because usually Wanda's not quiet.
And then when I gave the last call at 1:45, everybody clear out, including Wanda. Paul, get her back in here. She didn't pay for her last one.
Paul Morris immediately followed her outside.
Wanda rather rudely told him that she'd paid for the drink and to leave her alone.
Well, don't come back here unless you can pay your tab.
Whatever.
He sees Wanda get in the car with an individual that she'd been drinking with.
According to Paul Morris, this exchange transpired at precisely 2 a.m.
By 2:20, Wanda Murray's dead.
Any idea who the guy was?
Never saw him before. Well, he was dressed well and drove a silver station wagon.
And I'm finally feeling confident we're going to solve this. When Sergeant Baines informs me that everything we thought about this case is dead wrong.
Take a look for yourself. Honestly, I've never seen anything like this before.
What?
You mean our homicide just became a natural death?
Perplexed, Baines and Kenda head over to the coroner's office for an explanation.
I'm sorry. I was right about the asphyxiation, but I had the cause all wrong.
When the toxicology reports came back, the medical examiner realized that Wanda Murray was hypoglycemic. She had a low blood sugar, and this could account for her death.
And basically, she had diabetes and died of it.
There is no murderer, so we sit there in stunned silence at this news.
I suspect Wanda didn't even know she had the disease, and her drinking certainly exacerbated her condition. If she took so much that her body couldn't process it, could trigger a diabetic coma.
Kenda believes the toxicology report also explains Wanda's peculiar behavior whenever she drank.
Just stop, okay?
One of the symptoms of hypoglycemia is mood swings from action to lethargy. So here we have Wanda Pearl Murray, age 29. She's been kicked out of her apartment by her boyfriend. She's morose. She doesn't think about dinner, she thinks about drinking. She finally winds up at her last stop, the neighborhood bar. So? And she meets a man at the bar, and she leaves with him.
Kenda believes that as they drove down Academy Boulevard, Wanda apparently passed out. But in fact, what was happening was that Wanda's organs were slowly shutting down.
Diabetics are at risk of hypoglycemia with alcohol consumption, particularly if they haven't eaten.
Until finally,
Wanda.
her respiratory system failed.
Hey, are you okay?
The clue which originally led them to believe she had been strangled.
Wanda.
She literally stopped breathing, causing her to die of asphyxia. When the breathing stopped, so did her life.
Oh, God.
And he looks over at her and realizes she's dead in the car. He panics. He's not thinking, he's reacting. He shoves her out of his car into the street. He just disposes of her.
Moments later, an unsuspecting Charles Clark runs over Wanda's lifeless body. Due to the unusual nature of the case, Kenda and Bayans must get permission to pursue their suspect for the charge of abusing a corpse.
So Sergeant Bayans and I go to the district attorney's office to plead our case.
Nada. Even if we did win the case, we're looking at a small fine and maybe a month in jail. And honestly, we probably wouldn't even win. We can't pursue this with our limited resources.
I understand. Thank you for your time, sir.
This just isn't right. That guy dumped that poor girl on the side of the road like she was a piece of garbage. We can't just let him get away with it.
He said, well, you're young and you're new. I bet you don't feel so young and so new right now. And I didn't.
Son, we're not in the opinion business. It's our job to collect evidence. It's about what we can prove. And right now, we can't prove he did anything more than a petty misdemeanor.
He was making a point. This won't be your first bad experience.